because words hurt. You know, anybody that says words hurt has never been punched.
The world. Now, he took his time before getting to the subject of Will Smith smacking him.
We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time. Right?
Keep
now.
my wife's name
out of your mouth, right? And I'm like, but now I'm really worried.
Jada Pinkett Smith and Chris Rock have a long history together. The pair co-starred in the Madagascar animated movies starting in 2005, and their paths would continue to cross in the years that followed, coming to a bitter halt when Pinkett Smith's husband, Will Smith, slapped Rock during the 2022 Oscars ceremony. But is it true that the two celebrities have had more than just a co-working relationship? That's what we're going to find out in today's video. But of course, before we go any further, make sure first that you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more updates and videos like this. Now, let's dive in. The incident occurred after Rock made a joke during the award show about Pinkett Smith's hair. Her head is shaved due to the autoimmune condition alopecia. During the live telecast, Smith struck Rock in one of the most shocking moments in television history. In the walk-up to the release of her memoir, Worthy, on October 17th, Pinkett Smith has been opening up. In a new interview with People, she shared more about her relationship with Rock prior to the Oscars slap, including the fact that Rock once asked her out on a date amid rumors that she and Smith were divorcing.
And we were just tired. And so we decided to go our separate ways.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper.
I think every summer, all the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a divorce. And this particular summer, Chris thought that we were getting a divorce. So he called me, and basically he was like, "I'd love to take you out." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce?" I was like, "No, Chris, those are just rumors." He was appalled, and he profusely apologized, and that was that, she told People. Gossip about a rocky marriage between Smith and Pinkett Smith had long circled in tabloids. While both denied the rumors, Pinkett Smith, however, revealed this week in an NBC News exclusive interview with Hoda Kotb that she and Smith had been separated since 2016, though they remain legally married. The complicated history between Smith, Pinkett Smith, and Rock goes back to the 2016 Oscars, when Pinkett Smith found herself the target of Rock's comedy. During a monologue, Rock, who was hosting the ceremony that year, cracked jokes about her boycott of the awards show after a lack of diversity among nominees. During the monologue, Rock remarked, "Jada's going to boycott the Oscars? Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited." Rock continued by suggesting Pinkett Smith had really skipped the ceremony because her husband wasn't nominated for his role in the movie Concussion. "It's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated. You're right. It's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, okay?" he said, referring to one of Smith's box office disappointments.
And I think that both of us kind of holding on to our romanticized ideas of what our marriage was.
Prior to the 2016 Oscars, Pinkett Smith made a video explaining why she wasn't going to attend. In it, she addressed Rock, directly saying, "I can't think of a better man to do the job at hand this year than you, my friend. Good luck." In hindsight, she told People in this week's cover story that rather than address him publicly, she probably should have reached out directly instead. "I probably should have called him and gone, 'Hey, are you okay? And just know that although I'm speaking out about the Oscars, I do wish you the best, and I just want you to know that.' Me taking the time to have called him and said that, just to touch base," she told People. In the wake of the 2016 Oscars, Pinkett Smith told People that Rock apologized and I apologized to him as well for the misunderstanding, and that she thought that the hatchet was buried between us. At least until the night of March 27, 2022, when the course of their relationship changed forever due to a slap and an outraged Smith. In the 2023 Netflix comedy special, Selective Outrage, Rock references the infamous moment, once more suggesting that Pinkett Smith was disgruntled over Smith not receiving an Oscar nomination for Concussion, and that she's largely to blame for everything that's transpired since.
And we were just tired. And so we decided to go our separate ways.
In one of his recent shows, Rock joked that Jada made an attempt to persuade him to step down from hosting the Oscars in 2016 because her husband didn't receive a Best Actor nomination years earlier. His wife said, "I should quit the Oscars. I shouldn't host the CAS, or my husband didn't get nominated for concussion. And then he gives me a heck of a concussion," Rock humorously remarked. The comedian referred to an incident from 2016 when Jada publicly announced her boycott of the Oscars, believing that the Academy had shown bias in their nominations that year.
Okay? And by the way, he does that shit. Everybody in the world.
Now, I typically wouldn't discuss this matter, Rock said in his stand-up routine, but Will Smith chooses selective indignation, adding, "Everyone who genuinely knows me is aware that I had no involvement in that situation. I had no entanglements." Rock was alluding to a situation back in July 2020 when Jada openly discussed her involvement with singer August Alsina from several years earlier during a period when she and Will were separated. She clarified that over time, she and Will managed to mend their relationship, mentioning that they had reached a new level of unconditional love. During an interview on YouTube that same month with Angela Yee, the singer asserted that he was involved with Pinkett Smith, whom he got to know through her and Will Smith's son, Jaden, in 2015. He expressed his deep commitment to the relationship, saying, "I dedicated years of my life to that connection, and I genuinely profoundly love her and have a tremendous amount of affection for her. I wholeheartedly invested myself in it. I offered my complete self to it, to the extent that I could peacefully pass away right now, knowing that I wholeheartedly shared my life with someone."
Still trying to figure out what that means for us. He and I have really just been focusing on healing together.
While Pinkett Smith denied that her husband had granted Alsina permission to pursue the relationship, she clarified that in such a situation, the only person who could provide consent is herself. She also mentioned that she believed the singer was attempting to make it clear that he wasn't intentionally causing problems because he's not a homewrecker. However, this provided more material for Chris to humorously rib Will Smith even further. The comedian continued to share that after the entanglement news, particularly everyone in the world teased Will, and he attempted to reach out to him about it but claimed Will didn't answer. He then playfully repeated the term bitch in reference to Will. In a joking manner, he added, "Everyone's like, Chris, why didn't you retaliate that night? Why didn't you react?" "Because I have parents, that's why. Because I was raised." The comedian stated that he took no action against Will, bringing up the incident when Jada was boycotting the Academy Awards in 2016 during the Oscars So White movement and urged Rock not to host the show. In a video where she explained her approach, she expressed that the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences has the authority to recognize and invite whomever they choose. Nevertheless, she suggested that it might be a suitable time to redirect our resources and invest them in our own communities and programs, creating initiatives that celebrate us in a manner aligned with our values, and that are just as exceptional as those considered mainstream. She acknowledged the need for a reevaluation. Rock went on to explain that he didn't react or respond physically at last year's Oscars because of his upbringing. He added, "You know what my parents taught me? Don't engage in conflicts in front of others." Rock then concluded his performance, receiving a standing ovation from the audience before exiting the stage to enthusiastic applause from his fans.
I was still really confused because I didn't know what was going on. And like you just said, we hadn't really called each other husband and wife since 2016.
This incident marked a moment of tension between Chris and the entire Smith family, who didn't hold back in expressing their dissatisfaction with the comedian. Since the Oscars incident last year, Smith publicly apologized for his outburst and voluntarily resigned from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which also imposed a 10-year ban on his attendance at their events. Jada, on her part, addressed the Oscars episode during an episode of Red Table Talk in June, expressing her profound hope that these two intelligent and capable men have an opportunity to reconcile, engage in dialogue, and heal. Then, in July, Smith shared a video expressing his regret on his social media platforms, providing more insight into that evening and revealing his attempts to get in touch with Rock. Smith also discussed the Oscars during his promotional tour for Emancipation in November, which included an emotionally charged interview with Trevor Noah on The Daily Show. In the video, he conveyed, "I've reached out to Chris, and the response I received is that he's not yet prepared for a conversation. He will reach out when he is. So Chris, I extend my sincere apologies to you. My conduct was inexcusable, and I am available whenever you are ready to engage in dialogue." That's all for today, folks. If you want to keep yourself updated on the latest binge-worthy celebrity gossip, click that subscribe button and notification bell for more videos like this. Stay tuned.